Hey folks, Richard here again. I was starting to make a video a little while ago about the situation in the football world. Decided to watch a little bit of the American game, the US and Belgium. It's just a few seconds ago and it's 4-1. And I wanted to, my original reason for making a short video, you know my videos, is that there's been I feel sorry for the American team. I mean, they've gotten a real thrashing here. They played really poorly. There were some really bad mistakes, but that's not my reason for doing this. I started it because of the fact that the sexual deviant in the White House there is the center of a big controversy. And as I watched the game here, I thought because of what Trump did, the vast majority of the people in this world would be cheering for Belgium, and it's not the USA's fault. It's not the team, the people that work their butts off to play. It's not their fault. What happened was last Wednesday in the Croatia game, Bosnia game, I think it was. Anyway, I think it was the Bosnia game. Anyway, the star player for the US, a guy that's actually got US citizenship, he was born here. He grew up in England. He's Nigerian originally. Most of the best players in the world on these teams are of African descent, and he got a red card. And a red card these days is automatically a suspension. You don't get to play the next game, which was the game tonight. So what happened was, and as far as I can tell so far, he got the red card on Sunday. FIFA and Infantino is this corrupt, one of many corrupt individuals, all of them. FIFA issued a suspension of the suspension. In other words, they suspended the red card so that this guy could play in tonight's game. He's not got a difficult name, but I just can't remember it. It's a Nigerian name, but not. I'm unlike Trump. I can pronounce names. But anyway, so we got to play tonight, and of course the soccer world, the football world, and that's what we should call it because it's football. And here in the US, let's please do what the Latinos do and what most of the rest of the world does, and call it football because you play with your feet. And so. Anyway, it's caused an uproar that the Trump says, well, I just called him to tell him to review this play. He called up Infantino, the head of FIFA. Infantino says, yeah, he called me, but the decisions of FIFA are independent, autonomous. In other words, basically, I didn't do anything. Trump says I just called him to ask him to review it, but of course it's all lies. And then one thing that came out on Sunday in the Wall Street Journal, I think it was a guy named Jason Gay, had to write about how a team of White House lawyers, which would be lawyers that are paid for by their US taxpayer, got together to figure out how they could reverse this. And sure enough, it was reversed. So they gave Trump the thing. Trump says, I didn't really know what a red card was. That's funny that he doesn't know anything, this guy, really, does he? But it's funny that he would say that. And then he makes a snide remark about the referee in the game that gave the red card, that he's suspect. This is Trump, isn't it? No truths, no clarification. No, he's suspect. This is a guy who doesn't know what a red card is. Why would he know what the history of the ref is? Anyway, so the guy gets to play today. There's uproar. The UEFA, the European Union Football Association, different pundits, it's caused an uproar. Politics interfering in the great game. And a number of people have said politics shouldn't be in the game. It's a great game. Otherwise it distorts it. It's a discredit to the game. All of those things are true. But politics is already in it. It's not just Infantino. Look who owns the teams. They're owned by billionaires. Who owns baseball teams? They're owned by billionaires. Remember the sexual harassment stuff at Penn State. with the coach, and everybody knew it. But because it's $1 billion industry in college football, they get away with it. We know that it's all going on. And why would Trump do it? Why would Trump have come up with that? He would have come up with it, and I believe that's why he come up with it. Is that his popularity is tanking, even among his base. The right is split. You've got Tucker Carlson leaving the Republican Party, Marjorie Greene leaving the Republican Party, Carlson talking about building another political party. You got these the left Democrats that are having victories. The Social Democrats really is what they are. Trump's in a terrible state. And so this would be a distraction. And if, of course, they'd won, he could have said, we did it, I did it, yeah, say we're great, we're hot, blah, blah, blah. So the important thing I wanted to raise when I did it, when I tried to do it earlier on, was this is not just Trump. It's not Trump. Trump is a symptom of a rotten system. Capitalism is a rotten system. They say everything has its price. Well, it does. If you're hungry, if you're desperate, look at what the Zionists do in the occupied territories. They'll arrest Palestinians, try and push them to become spies about their community, or they'll arrest their sister, or rape their sister, or destroy their sister's little shop, or whatever. Arrest their family, kill their family. Yeah, we've all got a price if the pressure is enough. If we're faced with a choice of two evils. And so the thing is that I just felt so sorry today for the American team, because it's not about them. But why we have to drive home that Trump, as horrible as he is just a symptom of this rotten system. Capitalism cannot build a better future. Those Democrats, and it's positive that we got these Democrats that are running. There's a shift within that party. I put a piece up on the blog by Ken Klippenstein today that was very interesting. Check it out. My blog is Facts for Working People. The URL is weknowwhatsup.blogspot.com. It's a good article. That while there is that tension within the Democratic Party, I've written over the last years that there will at some point be a left split from there and possibly a right split from the Republicans. But American political system is in chaos. With regards to those progressive Democrats, yes, they're saying all the right things. They absolutely are. Medicare, transportation, healthcare, all of these things. But what are they offering to put it? What are they offering as a solution to it? And the Democratic Party is not it. The Democratic Party cannot resolve the crisis of capitalism in this country or globally. It's one of the world's dominant capitalist parties. So while it's positive, Mamdani says the right things. Bernie Sanders he had 10 years to offer an alternative. And to be quite honest with you, I'm sick of Bernie Sanders. And the trade union leadership are absent. I see they've got a new union formation of non-profit to help build union. Fight for workers and they'll join a union, okay? You remember the defeat in the Amazon warehouse, and they voted against the union, and somebody said to me, well, they don't want the union. Yes, they do, but the worker knows if you vote yes to get the union in, the boss is going to come down on you. The best boss is going to terrorize you in the workplace, and so they vote no. So they vote no, because unless the labour movement and the working class come and defend them, unless the union movement defends them and puts a few thousand people out there and stops that company from functioning, they're going to vote no to the union. But that's the most important thing to remember, that capitalism cannot solve this crisis. Trump is just an example of how rotten it is. Or the billionaires that own the teams, they could have their money invested in condom factories. It wouldn't matter to them as long as they get a rate of return that they want and so forth. But it's really sad for the US team to have to suffer because the sexual deviant felon opened his mouth and try to make some headway for himself. Went on way too long, but I can't help it. Unfortunately, it's not long if you're looking at where to go and what's happening in this world. Talk to you later.